Is XRP an attractive investment looking at its current prices? Also, is XRP and Ripple a regulatory sacrifice following Coinbase legal officer's latest comment? We will also be looking at the reasons backing up the Ripple data API not being updated since February 12th. Finally, to our main focus for the day, the XRP buyback theory has resurfaced again, but with a twist. But the big question remains the same: can XRP's value be used as a collateral? Stick with me till the end of the video to learn more. Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, where we talk about the latest updates on XRP and the cryptocurrency world in general. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, we happily send you a special welcome. We invite you to hit on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We are announcing that this channel has a giveaway of 200 XRP. To stand the chance of participating, all you have to do is simply subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment with the hashtag XRP, and the winner will be announced on the 31st of March. Prominent cryptocurrency hardware wallet Ledger has warned its users about a new scam tactic targeting unsuspecting XRP holders. In a recent tweet, Ledger said malefactors have created a counterfeit version of the Ledger Live app to steal users' hard-earned XRP. Notably, while posing as company employees, these malefactors convince Ledger users to share their 24-word recovery phrase. Once users share their recovery phrase, the scammers use it to gain unrestricted access to their XRP coins. Scammers are using fake Ledger Live apps and posing as Ledger employees to steal your hard-earned XRP, Ledger warns. Furthermore, Ledger shared a screenshot of its official Twitter handle to help users identify fake accounts and messages. On the other hand, as we approach a ruling in the United States Securities and Exchange Commission case against Ripple, speculations about its potential implications on the price of XRP have soared. In a tweet yesterday, attorney John E. Deaton, who represents thousands of XRP holders as a friend of the court in the extended legal battle, lent his voice to these speculations. According to the crypto law founder, the asset has an attractive risk-to-reward potential in light of the impending ruling on so-called summary judgment. The ruling is expected in the next few weeks. It could even come this week, Deaton said. The attorney believes there is not much downside in XRP price if Ripple loses, as the firm would appeal as they have alluded to, and we would maintain the status quo. However, he is optimistic that there could be some significant upside in XRP price if the asset classification becomes clear and Ripple obtains a favorable outcome. The SEC, in a complaint in 2020, asserted that Ripple's sale of XRP to fund its business violated securities law. According to the regulator, Ripple should have registered XRP as a security. What ensued is a legal battle that has spanned over 2 years as Ripple fights the SEC's classification of XRP. The SEC case forced most US-based crypto exchanges to delist XRP in fear of litigation, causing an estimated $15 billion loss for holders, with the price of XRP so far failing to reclaim its all-time high formed in 2018. However, it is generally believed that this could change if Ripple can achieve a positive ruling in the legal battle. Moreover, several technical analysts have tapped the asset to kick off a bull run this year. Egret Crypto, a confessed XRP permabull, said the bull run would kick off on July 1st based on historical price action, with a final price target of $80 in the following months. For context, XRP is trading for 50 cents currently. Crypto Michael, at MichaelXBT, who predicted the asset's rally last week, has asserted that the altcoin's price would go parabolic while others barely move. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell to be the first person to get more updates about the latest happenings as regards to XRP. Attorney Deaton backs Coinbase chief legal officer, who claimed that SEC's legal tussle against the exchange is an attack against all of crypto. In a recent tweet, attorney John Deaton said Coinbase chief legal officer Paul Grewal is right to assert that the recent Wells notice received by the exchange from the SEC is a shot against the entire crypto industry and not just Coinbase alone. Notably, Grewal commented on a recent Unchained Crypto podcast hosted by Laura Shin. Grewal noted that if the SEC could come after Coinbase despite being a publicly traded company, then nobody is safe in the crypto space. This is not just a fight for Coinbase. This is a fight for all of the crypto, because if responsible actors with serious AML and KYC programs, publicly listed, that are filing petitions for rulemaking and attempting to engage with the government can be treated in this fashion, nobody else is safe either, Grewal was quoted as saying. The podcast prompted a series of reactions from members of the XRP community who believe Gruel's assertion is a little too late. Attorney Deaton noted that while many XRP holders believe that Gruel's comment is 2 years late after it delisted XRP, he still believes Gruel is on track to claim that the Wells notice is a shot at crypto. Deaton said XRP and Ripple were seen as a regulatory sacrificial lamb. He further said the San Francisco-based cryptocurrency exchange promoted XRP use in cross-border settlements and presented a report to the SEC in January 2019 stating that the cryptocurrency was not a security. Coinbase listed the coin in February 2019. The crypto law founders said Coinbase would never have listed XRP if the SEC had suggested that the coin was a security because it needed the regulator's approval to go public. I know how XRP holders feel about the delisting. At the time, I publicly disagreed with Coinbase for delisting it, but the sad reality is delisting XRP was probably not a very difficult choice for Coinbase to make considering it sought approval for an IPO and wanted harmony with SEC, Attorney Deaton added. Reacting to Deaton's tweets, Bill Morgan, a pro-XRP lawyer, said he understands why Coinbase delisted XRP. Still, the cryptocurrency exchange did not support Ripple during the company's legal battle with the SEC. According to Morgan, Coinbase would have backed its initial decision that XRP was not a security. However, Morgan said the company chose not to destroy its relationship with the SEC because of its plans to go public. But then, after Coinbase was listed, it still did not publicly affirm the correctness of its original decision to list XRP based on its understanding it was not a security. Again, self-interest because it was trying to deal with the SEC, he added. Morgan said it was after the crypto exchange received a Wells notice from the SEC, Gruel is now claiming it was shot against all of crypto. He added that Ripple and LBRY lawsuits were both shots at crypto, adding that the exchange's hypocrisy needs to be called out. It is noteworthy that not all XRP community members are furious with Coinbase. Recall that shortly after Coinbase received a Wells notice from the SEC, Ripple's chief legal officer Stuart Alderety tweeted an ancient proverbial expression, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Despite Morgan's claims that Coinbase did not support Ripple in its fight against the SEC, it is noteworthy that the crypto exchange filed an amicus brief supporting Ripple. Furthermore, in a tweet yesterday, Leonidas Hadjiloizou, an XRP proponent and crypto researcher, asserted that the Ripple Data API, which provides crypto exchanges and data aggregators with information about XRP's circulating supply, is stuck again. As highlighted by the analyst, it is a frequent happening. The data shows that XRP's circulating supply data was last updated on February 12th. In a separate tweet, Leonidas maintains that it is not a significant problem. But he notes that failing to fix it would mean that crypto exchanges continue reporting erroneous figures. Leonidas' finding has prompted calls for the XRP Ledger Foundation to take over the maintenance of the API, as reflected by a poll made by Hansen.xrp. Currently, the poll has received 271 responses, with 79% in favor of the XRP-LF Foundation maintaining the API. It is worth noting that the Ripple Data API and XRP's circulating supply are often subject to controversy. Messari, in a series of reports in 2019, alleged that Ripple's quarterly reports and the Ripple Data API offered misleading information to significantly understate the pace of selling pressure from Ripple and its founders and affiliates. The first of these reports suggested that these discrepancies meant XRP's market cap was inflated. Not only does this report contain several inaccurate assumptions around lockups and selling restrictions, but the entire report is also based on an incorrect calculation of market cap, a Ripple spokesperson told Forbes in response to the initial 2019 report. In 2017, Ripple locked up 55 billion of the 100 billion XRP supply in escrow and 1 billion token tranches for scheduled monthly sales, much to the chagrin of XRP community members. The firm has unlocked 1 billion tokens at the beginning of every month since, with a few exceptions, selling an average of about 200 million tokens while locking up the rest once more. Leonidas, in 2020, estimated that it would take Ripple about 20 years to sell off its XRP holdings. Ripple, in recent years, has clarified that its XRP sales are restricted to customers of its on-demand liquidity product, who use XRP as a bridge currency in cross-border transactions. In October, the Crypto Basic reported that Ripple held less than 50% of XRP's supply for the first time. Now, to our big question of the day, can XRP's value be used as a collateral? Valhill Capital Managing Director Jimmy Valley has proposed a new variation of the XRP buyback theory, sparking debates over the viability of using XRP as collateral. These debates have prompted a response from Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz. As highlighted in previous reports, Valley proposed the XRP buyback theory in 2021. It is a theory based on the assumption that XRP would become the world's reserve currency. Following this assumption, Valley posited that governments must own large amounts of XRP, necessitating the proposed buyback. The securities lawyer suggested that this buyback would not happen on the secondary market but at an agreed fixed price similar to the buyback of gold when the US backed the dollar with the highly valued commodity. Considering XRP's limited supply and the fiat supply, Valley placed the value of one XRP between $37,500 and $50,000. Unsurprisingly, this price estimate and the theory have sparked discussions over the years. Now, in an interview on Thursday, Valley has suggested a new proposal where instead of selling to the government, XRP holders use their holdings as collateral for a bank tentatively dubbed People's Bank. While not many appear to be paying mind to Valley's latest scheme, it has led to debates over whether XRP is a suitable asset for collateral. XRP ledger validator Ripple.NZ unwittingly kicked off the debate by asserting that XRP had no value to lend or borrow against. "I wonder if anyone has told Jimmy that XRP has no value to borrow or lend against," the validator tweeted, adding, "How can you use it as collateral?" To buttress his point, Ripple.NZ claimed that collateral must have redemption value. On the other hand, he asserts that XRP only has value when it is in transit from a holder to a buyer. For context, a redemption value is a price at which an issuing company can repurchase stock before maturity. Schwartz, responding to Ripple.NZ arguments in a series of tweets yesterday, pointed out that a company only repurchases its stock at redemption value when it is contractually required. Otherwise, like other buyers, it purchases the stock at the fair market price determined by demand and supply factors, just like the value of XRP. Consequently, the value is not guaranteed. The primary reason stocks are good collateral for loans is that they are liquid, Schwartz noted, arguing that the potential of redemption would hardly be considered. Consequently, Schwartz outlined XRP's liquidity and easy-to-track spot market price as qualities that could make it a good collateral. While he concedes that its volatility is a drawdown, he notes that loans backed by XRP can be over-collateralized, guaranteed by other means of payment or, in the most undesirable case, have high interest rates. As highlighted by Schwartz, over-collateralized crypto-backed loans are already popular in decentralized finance. It allows users interested in holding certain assets over a long period to borrow against them and engage in other trades. Schwartz wrote, "There are people who hold a lot of crypto and might want to borrow against their positions, possibly to get a leveraged buy and possibly to buy other things. This is a common DeFi use case. I'm not super interested in helping crypto wealthy folks take a bit more risk. But I am interested in the lending side as a potentially low-risk way to get a return on stored value for people who have little to no access to things like conventional brokerage firms." So we come to the end of this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, you can help enlighten others just like you have been enlightened by sharing this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news everywhere, guys. If you are a true cryptocurrency fan, don't miss any of our content. See you tomorrow to talk about the latest news that concerns us all as a community.